Hello, I'm Chase Carrington, and welcome to the first Chase the Sun movie review. Our first movie is Genesis History, the special that just continues to get an encore on the theaters. It's a one-night event, well, it was supposed to be, until they continue to do more and more. So I really hope after hearing this you will choose to see it, and if you missed in theaters, I'm sure it will be out soon. I really suggest you see this movie. Start out, it was an awesome movie. It was a documentary, and it was a documentary with 10 really smart guys, creation scientists, Christian scientists, and they basically just proved Genesis historically and scientifically correct. It was an amazing movie. It was so much I learned from it. So here's a few things. For starters, the movie, again, it's about, 10, half a dozen to about 10 creation scientists. They all have PhDs. They're all really smart guys. And they range from geologists to zoologists to marine biologists to astronomers. They had a full cast of scientific knowledge and scientific expertise. Years and years of experience they all had. And a lot of them in the creation science field, as well as, I'm sure at one point, the secular. And they're from a lot of the big creation organizations, like Creation Ministries International, Answers in Genesis, others. And again, experienced, very smart, and they had so much knowledge to give. And even later on, they would say that they were even restraining themselves to kind of make sure that the message was coherent and understandable to all. And when I first saw them as just a viewer, when I first heard them being interviewed by the host, and I didn't really think that they're Christian immediately. I was just thinking like, okay, they're scientists, they'll give their opinions, figure out what it's all about. They were very scientific about it. They were very good at just getting to the point, getting to the facts, getting to what is truth, what's scientific. And they're really good at just making sure that it came off as very logical and scientific, everything that they said. The hosts would ask the questions, and they'd answer with relevant information and facts, especially the facts relevant to their field. So the geologists would be asked, hey, this rock, they claim it's this old. Why is it not? Or is that true? Do you agree with this? Do you agree with that? It was really, and they gave smart, educated answers, and I learned so much. And this is coming from a guy who has basically spent most of his teen years listening and reading about creation science stuff. I knew a lot about the things that they're saying, but I still was able to learn so much from these guys. And the movie was just so enlightening. So a few takeaways. The first thing that they really kind of got into was, is Genesis being interpreted right? Which way do you interpret Genesis? Because if you read into theology, especially modern theology in a Bible or something, you'll see that there are a lot of different opinions on just the first chapter of Genesis. That says a lot about how Christian views can sometimes be distorted or just very diverse. So they basically first established the idea that what the Bible says about Genesis, is it true? The conclusion was yes. And they came to it with, there's one guy who knew the Hebrew and he had manuscripts, an original Hebrew of the Bible. It was an amazingly educated and convincing conversation to make sure that we understood that the Bible, what the Bible says about Genesis, is true. Another thing that I caught as just a viewer is the fact that they kept on kind of reiterating that evolution becomes the automatic perspective for everyone, for all the secular people, for all the people out there, the scientists. When they approach a problem like the creation of the universe, they immediately assume evolution is right. Basically, true until proven untrue. Basically, they don't treat it like a science. Kind of rolls into another thing that I really noticed, that they really made a big point of it. They weren't just proving evolution, in my mind, to be untrue, they're proving it to be unscientific. And I think that was very unique to a lot of, especially some of the creation stuff can kind of tend to just hang onto, okay, evolution's wrong because it overrides the Bible. They went a step further and said, hey, evolution doesn't have evidence, it can't stand on anything, meaning it is unscientific. That it's as simple as that. And there's also they also brought us into the creation of God and just showed evolution cannot produce all this complexity. And I thought that was really amazing. They showed a lot of cute animals, some not so cute, like some of the sea creatures, and they also like I think it was a biologist who showed how genetics work and how this like the 4 dimensions of genetics, how the genes of a person can change and adapt, and they bend and fold, and it was amazing just to hear how complex genetics are and how impossible it is for those genetics just to come out of nowhere. And another point that I came away with was the idea that they're attacking the base of the Bible. That basically people aren't trying to push evolution so hard just because they think they're right. A lot of them are doing it because they know the Bible doesn't have anything to stand on if you don't believe in Genesis. Especially the idea that we are a fallen world. If you believe in evolution and that there was no Genesis, it means that there is death, a lot of death, before the Bible, before the fall of man. And that basically throws out the whole idea that we need to be saved from something. That's why we need to tread carefully when we start mixing secular ideas and stuff that is agreed on to the majority with the Bible. But altogether, you have to see this movie for yourself. It was a phenomenal movie. I absolutely loved it, and I suggest you go check out their website and be sure to get some tickets for the next showing, because it was an amazing movie, and it will definitely either leave your opinions more strongly stated, or it will change your mind in a way you would never expect. I'm Chase with Chase the Sun and Amplifier for JC.com Radio. Enjoy.